If you're about to start focusing on your SEO efforts, then there's probably one question in your mind because it's the question I get asked the most. How long will it take to get results? In this video, we're going to actually answer that question. I'm not just going to say it depends, but I mean it does depend. But I'm going to try to give you a framework to guess what it depends on. However, this video is part of a series called the 30-day local SEO playbook, and this is day number 1, and we're actually going to dive into a really advanced topic here. And so before we get into that, I just want to say the very high level answer so that way you don't get too lost in the weeds too early on. So we're looking at here is the actual playbook. Here we are on day 1, very brief, wanting to give you a warm-up so that way you're ready to go. And it's about setting expectations for local SEO. So the 3 things I want you to remember from this is 1, we're talking about local SEO, and what that means is your small business should serve local customers. If you only work online with customers all over the country, let's say you're like a coach or something, right? Then this video, it's not for you. Go back out on the YouTube search, go find somebody else, all right? If you have like a big e-commerce store and you sell products, blah, 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 and this video is not for you, go back on the YouTube search, keep looking. But if you have a small business that serves local customers, then this video is for you. You have made the perfect fit. Good job, algorithm. You have served up the right video to this viewer. Hello, nice to meet you. My name's Sam. I run an SEO agency in Bend, Oregon, and I love helping people, and I'm so excited to be helping you right now. So let's get back over here. By the way, if you want to follow along, 30dayseo.com. It'll take you to a little form, fill that out, and you'll get your own copy right there. Don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. I'm just going to give you updates because this actually isn't done yet. So if you're watching this in real time, you'll get updates as new weeks roll out. Anyway, number 2, you can estimate how long it will take to get results from local SEO. That's why I like it, but it's really just a ballpark. It's just an estimation, okay? Again, we're gonna get into some really funky stuff, especially if you're just getting started with local SEO here in a second. And so, just get ready for it. But just know it's still just gonna be an estimation. We're not gonna know for sure, okay? And then the third thing is it's better to just get to work instead of worrying about when the results will hit, all right? So what you should really do is skip ahead to day 2. So I'll put the little card up here for day 2 once that's out, and you can just skip right ahead to day 2 and you can get started with that. And really, I think you should look at this video much later on in your SEO journey. But now there's going to be a new little chapter down here, and we're going to figure out how to actually make a educated guess on how long it'll take to rank for our keywords. So let's get into it. Again, we are about to do an advanced tactic. You should really go on to day 2, all right, what matters for local SEO, but that'll be in the next video. So let's skip ahead to that advanced topic, all right? So how can we estimate the time to get results? Now, what I recommend is you should use SEMrush for this. Now, you're gonna see in the description, I have a link to a 7-day free trial. It's a special link just for you, okay? I don't recommend you use that today. Bookmark that, save it for later for when the day comes that you want to try out some of SEMrush's cooler features, but we're going to try out the cooler features later on in this series. And so I recommend saving that. You can actually, I'm going to show you how to do this with the free version of SEMrush, okay? And so, yeah, you got to be careful. So anyway, SEMrush is just an SEO tool if you've never used it before. Here it is. I just pulled it up on incognito window so you can see what it looks like when you're not logged in. I'm going to log in on my free account so you see something very similar. All right, so this is my free account under my personal email. And you look right here, I'm picking the keyword magic tool. Okay, that's what we're using right now. All right, now if we keep following along with the directions, you'll see that what you want to do is you want to go, actually the keyword overview tool, sorry, I misspoke there. We'll switch to that in a second. And you want to put in your primary keyword. Now, if you don't know what your primary keyword is yet, you should skip ahead to day 3 and then come back to this video. But maybe you're watching this video live, so that video is not out yet, or you're feeling risque and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. What I would recommend doing is just trying service, city, state. So if you're a landscaper in Boulder, Colorado, that's what you would put, maybe just CO for Colorado. That's one of my recommendations. That's a good guess when we do look at how to find our primary keyword. That's kind of the strategy we're going to follow on our first guess. So let's just put something like that right now. All right, so here we are on the keyword overview tool, which is just the tool right above the keyword magic tool. And so we're going to put landscaper Boulder, Colorado. I hit enter, that doesn't do anything. Hit search. And there's actually no search traffic for that. You see that right there? That's important. If you're wondering, what does this number mean, Sam? Go to day 3. That's where we're going to talk more about it. Again, this is an advanced tactic. I'm showing you this because this is the question I get asked every single time I meet with the prospect. And so if you want to figure it out, this is how you figure it out, okay? This would be more helpful to do at the end of week 1. But anyway, if you scroll down here, SEMrush gives you these keyword variations. And so here's actually a better answer, landscaping Boulder CO. So let's go with that right there. And now we're going to look at the keyword overview page. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to scroll down to the SERP analysis page, okay? Which is right here, this little section. And in the paid version, it's way easier because what we're actually going to do is we're going to use these page ASs, which stands for authority score. That's how we're actually going to figure this out, but they don't give it to you on the free version, those jerks. And so we're going to do it a different way, all right? We're going to do it a different way. There's a free way to do this. So we're going to go back over here to our playbook. And what you want to do is you want to copy the link. You got to copy the link, and then we're going to paste that into the domain overview tool, okay? So we're going to go through the list right here. We got lid landscapes. You want to click on the little arrow here. Let me zoom in so you can see that. That little arrow, right click, copy link address, okay? Zoom back out. And then you want to go to domain overview. That's the first tool right here. Just open that in a new tab, and then just paste in that URL. You can knock this down to US or wherever you're at for the location. Then hit search, and then there's your authority score. Okay, first competitor was 14. We're going to repeat this process. I'll show you one more time, and then we'll stop. Okay, so go back to the SERP analysis list. Get the next one. Copy. Domain overview, paste, United States, or wherever you're at, search. Authority score, 19. Okay, those are the numbers we're trying to note. As you go through this list, look out for some traps like Yelp. We don't care about Yelp. If you see anything that has, or House, that's another one. If you see anything that's some sort of aggregation of sites, I like to call these listicles. Sometimes they can be called directories. They're usually something like best blank in blank, right? Best 10 landscapers in Boulder, Colorado. We don't want these. And if you want to just check, like to kind of get an eyeball on things because you only get 10 actions in the free version of SEMrush, just search this out in Google, and then you can kind of go through and double check to make sure they're actually your competitors. I'm going to get 5 results pulled up, so that way we still have a couple free actions left for the day in SEMrush. So let's fast forward to that. Okay, now remember, what I'm about to tell you is totally an estimation. It's not going to be definitive because A, the numbers we're looking at are guesses by the SEO tools, and B, it's just a ballpark guess. There's no way we can definitively say it, but we can use this to kind of say like this is going to be kind of hard or this is going to be kind of easy, okay? So what we're doing is we're looking at all of our competitors now, and we're looking at this authority score. So I'm not going to zoom in on all of them, but we got 14, that was number 1, 19, they were number 2, 9, they were number 3, 10, they were number 4, Yelp was number 5, and then these guys were number 6 with 6. Funny how that works. This appears to be a newer site, so maybe they're getting a little love because of that. Or anyway, I won't get lost in the weeds. I went to the 3rd page of Google. I found a random business. I do not know Bedrock Landscape. I have no affiliation with them. They are just a random company that I picked randomly. Let's pretend like they're our client or that is our business, all right? We are the landscapers behind Bedrock. And so I put ourselves into this tool, the domain overview tool, and the authority score was 7, trending down. So that makes me think that maybe they're not working on their SEO. It looks like they were working on SEO. Let me get my head out of the way here. Looks like they were maybe working on their SEO up to this point, and they've kind of given up because their organic traffic's going down. Their keywords are steady, but their traffic seems to be going down. Again, this is just a guess. Now, why does this matter, Sam? You may be wondering right now. The reason for that is to show up in the search result page. You know what, actually, I'm going to talk about this in day 2. I'm not going to get too much into it. SEO comes down to 2 things, relevancy and authority. Relevancy is what gets you to show up on the right search pages. The reason why all these are even showing up on Landscaping Boulder, Colorado is because they said they were landscapers in Boulder, Colorado. Point blank period, that's all we have to say for this video. Now, to rise the ranks, that's where authority comes in. And authority pretty much has to do with backlinks, okay? Now, don't go crazy. Don't go on Fiverr right now and go buy 1,000 backlinks, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality, and there's not a lot of quality backlinks out there. Trust me, we're going to spend a whole week talking about backlinks. Are you excited about that? Almost an entire week of this series will be devoted to backlinks. So don't worry about it. Just take a step back, chill out, especially if you're a small business owner, like just relax, okay? We're going to go over it. Now, looking at the authority score from SEMrush, and if you use Ahrefs, you might see domain rating DR. That's a pretty common one to look at. These are just guesses. SEMrush doesn't know what Google considers, what was this company called? Bedrock Landscapes Authority, right? They don't know, but this is an analog. And SEMrush and Ahrefs, they're big companies, so they're probably doing an okay job of guessing, all right? The reason why all the numbers, all the authority scores were between 19 and 6 and kind of generally trended down as we went down the search engine result page was because SEMrush is probably pretty good at this. But there's a reason why this company with 7 is hiding on the 3rd page. And maybe it is a relevancy issue, but usually I use the authority score as kind of a guess to see how hard this is going to be to rank. Okay, so now that we've noted the authority scores, and I put some examples here, so remember 30dayseo.com if you want to follow along. So I gave you some examples here, and I showed you what it looks like with the premium version. You can actually see those numbers right there, so you don't got to bounce around. And so I like to say, what was the average of the top 5 or top 10 results, and what's your authority score? And then I give a little system here. And so for this example, let's see, my website's authority score is around the average. I would say my website's authority score is over 5, yep, but it's around 5 points lower than the average. I would say that's right. I would not say it's 10 points lower, okay? And so I said, according to my very unscientific method, that we should start seeing good progress in the first 3 months. And I think that's true. I think there's something else wrong with this website, because why is their authority score higher than the one that's ranking 6th right now, even though they're on the 3rd page, so they're probably showing up like 23rd, 24th, 25th. There's an issue. Could be an issue with relevancy. Could just be that they don't have enough backlinks, or maybe some of them are going away. There's a lot of things that it could be, but I bet we can make some progress in the early days. Now, for some other results, you know, if you're higher than the top results, then there's usually something wrong, and we just need to work on that. Sometimes we could be tricked. Remember, SEMrush is just one measurement. And so once you have access to your website, you can double check it with Ahrefs for free, actually, which is really cool. So I'll have to talk about that in a future video, but that's kind of getting in the weeds here. But again, just using these metrics, if you're higher than the top results, it should be fairly easy for you to click along. In those first 3 months, you should at least, you know, you're probably not going to be ranking first, especially if you were not on the first page before, but you can definitely make some progress. You should be seeing some movement. If your site has been around for a while, then I say it usually takes 3 to 6 months. I think that's a good guess. I think that's a good guess to say you'll be seeing some good results. And then if you have a new site, which usually has an authority score of like 0 to 2, then I usually say it'll take more than 6 months, okay? How long it takes really depends on what the competition looks like. I have seen some industries like roofing and electricians where it just takes a long time. And I've seen other industries like a health coach one time where we just made one change and they were ranking on the first page overnight. Bottom of the first page, but still, that's good. So remember, these are estimates, all right? Don't hang your hat on them, but use them as a guide. And again, I totally breezed over a bunch of stuff here. And so you're probably getting to this video and being like, well, here's the thing, bookmark this video, come back to it. I encourage you to come back to it even just after you finish the 7th day of the first week of the 30-day local SEO playbook, because I bet you're going to understand what a lot of the vernacular means a lot more. And you could probably look at your site and your competitors and say like, oh, okay, I see where I sit now. That makes a lot more sense. But seriously, if this is your first day and you stuck around this long, like kudos to you for trying. But I would be so lost right now. So don't worry about it. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to get into day 2. And let's see what we're going to talk about on day 2, all right? We got to scroll up through hundreds of pages here. not hundreds, but dozens at this point. And so we're going to dig. So we talked about the expectations for local SEO. And so in the next video, we're going to be talking about what matters most for local SEO. It's so important that we don't get that twisted, and we dive deep on that in day 2, because it's going to set the pace for what we do for the rest of the series. Okay, and then I promise you, day 3, we're actually going to get to work, and we're going to start building our strategy, because it's so important that we have a plan. All right, if you're liking what you're seeing so far, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss day 2 in case you're watching this in real time. And if you are watching this in the future, then click right there, because that's where day 2 is going to be, and keep chugging along on your local SEO journey, because you got this. I'll see you in the next one.